LaDarrion, how are you?
How are you?
I'm great. Is that how I say your name? LaDarrion?
LaDarrion, yes. Uh-huh.
LaDarrion, sorry, I've got a French accent, as you can
Oh,
hear.
no problem. Is it Telma? Telma?
Yes, Thelma.
Telma,
Perfect.
okay.
Hi,
Yes.
welcome to Thelma's podcast. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
You know what? It's an honor to talk to you. You have no idea. I'm sure you know I've been looking your tweets like from the first time you just posted it. I mean, first of all, let's start. So, who are you? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm LaDarrion Williams. I'm an author, playwright, filmmaker. I am 31 years old. I currently live in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, and yeah, I'm the author of the upcoming YA fantasy book called Blood at the Root, which is a YA contemporary story about a black kid named Malik Barron who gets accepted to a magical HBCU, and he must go there to learn about his magic. And also, his mom went there as well, and she didn't tell him, and she's been missing. So now he has to investigate everybody at this college because somebody there had something to do with her mysterious disappearance. So yeah, it comes out May 7th of this year. So 3 more months. Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Uh,
3 months.
yeah, three more months. And yeah, it's my debut novel. So this is my first one.
Amazing. So you said you're a filmmaker.
Mhm.
So when did you start the filmmaker journey? When did you start?
Yeah, so that's why I moved to LA because I'm originally from the South. So I'm from Alabama. And I moved here, oh my gosh, it's about to be 9 years in May. Uh 9 long years. So I moved here for like screenwriting and I wanted to be like a television writer. And so I started like my filmmaking journey officially like around 2017. I produced a short film. I directed, produced, and wrote a short film based off a play of mine. And from there, like I produced another film, which was the Blood at the Root short film on YouTube. And
Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
produced that and wrote it, and also wrote, directed, and produced another short film. So yeah, it started kind of like in 2017. I just got bit by the filmmaking bug, and um yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I added, playwriting and filmmaking, and now I'm adding an author to
Wow.
the resume.
That's fantastic. So you were from Alabama, like you was born there. Okay.
Yeah,
So tell me about Alabama, because I like this it's from the South. Tell me more about that.
yeah. It's obviously slower than what LA, Hollywood appears to be. Um, Yeah, like I grew up there. I didn't at the time, obviously I'm so far away from Hollywood, right? So there's not like a lot of resources in regards to if you wanted to be an actor, because I also wanted to be an actor. Like that was like
Oh,
kind of my first introduction into the arts. So I've done theater in high school and wanting to be this actor, but the reason why I moved from Alabama was because I didn't have a lot of resources to make my filmmaking and writing dreams a reality. So that's why I moved to LA. But yeah, no, I Alabama is always all it's always steeped into my work. I write about Alabama. I write about like my childhood, growing up in a very small town outside of Birmingham, Alabama. And it seeps into my plays and my books and filmmaking. So it's I'm an Alabamian at heart. So,
yeah. I feel
yeah.
like in your book, from what I saw a little bit, that's why I asked you about this. So were you inspired by your
Yeah.
own roots to write Blood at the Roots?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I was very inspired because you know, I grew up when I was in high school in Alabama. I grew up during the time, like Twilight was very big.
Yeah.
And Hunger Games and Percy Jackson, which I just watched the TV show. So it's kind of weird to be back in that, like that moment. And so even watching those stories, I didn't really I felt connected to it, obviously, but there was like a sort of disconnect because I didn't really see, people that look like me on the screen, right? Like in those stories, I didn't see myself as the hero. like physically, like seeing like black black kids as the heroes. They're always relegated to the side. So um I started writing I started writing Blood at the Root. One, it was inspired from a tweet that I made in on Twitter. I said, what if Harry Potter went to an HBCU, right? Like a historically black college and university. And so after that blew up, I realized that I had something special. I realized that, I needed to write this story. And I kind of tucked it away a little bit. And and then I eventually wrote it as a TV pilot because I wanted it
Oh,
to be a TV series.
yeah, so that.
And yeah, I wanted it to be a TV series. And so I wrote the TV pilot. I shot the short film with friends. Like we was in the middle of the lockdown, like the pandemic. So I shot the short film with friends all over LA. And after seeing so much interest in the short film, I was like, okay, I got the script, I got the short film, I got the story. Hollywood, like, open the floodgates, right? No, that didn't happen. They didn't open the floodgates, and you know, I kind of like I kind of became depressed about it, because I was being told like, yeah, like this is great, this is great, this is great. But there's nothing we could really do for now. Like I was hearing that for like a year and a half, and I remember like during the lockdown, I wanted to start reading again because I kind of fell out of reading because I was like I was tired of not reading books that I was just not connecting to really. And I went to Barnes and Noble and I asked the clerk, I said, hey, I'm getting into reading. I want to get into the young adult fantasy space. But I'm looking for like books with like black boys in it. Like where's like the black teenage boys who are the heroes? And we went over to the section and she looked up and down and we found a couple, but then the couple that had black boys, that it was like dealing with like police brutality and just racial
Yeah.
trauma. And I just wasn't really, and this was after the 2020 riots, right? This was after like the
Mm.
racial like uprising. And I was just like, I want to see something more. I want to see young black men, black boy characters like experience life and go through things. And so she went up and down, I went up and down, and she went up and down, and she took a step back and she looked at me. She was like, "Huh, like then we really don't have anything." And so that's when I decided to write Blood at the Root as a novel. I adapted it from a TV pilot into a novel, and as I was doing that, I wrote the first draft in 12 days. I locked myself in my apartment and wrote the first draft of the book in 12 days. And then in those 12 days, I was just really studying like the publishing industry. And I was wondering, I was like, well, what is the root of this? Like, why are there not a lot of stories with young black boy characters? Like, what is going on? And then why do they always have to deal with police brutality if they are there? And I'm not saying that those stories are not important. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying like there's more to that. And so I started seeing there was a disparity, and I was like, I don't know if I want to traditionally publish this book. I don't know because the way that I want to talk about like black ancestry and black people across the diaspora and just incorporating a lot of different conversations in the book. I didn't know that publishing would want to do that. So um, I wrote it and then I said I'm going to self-publish it. I'm going to put it on Amazon. If people buy it, they buy it. I'm at my wit's end with this story. And
Yeah.
so I was working with a professional editor. Her name was Margot Weston. We still talk today, and black woman from Louisiana. And as we were working on the book, like getting in its shape and like readable,
Yeah.
LaDarrion, no, like she was like, you gotta traditionally publish this. And I gave her the runaround. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I said, publishing ain't gonna want a story like this. They're not just they're not. So she's like, no, I'm telling you, like this book is gonna be big. I got a feeling.
Mm.
And after a couple of weeks of like going back and forth, she convinced me. So, and this was March 2021. Yeah, no, March 2022. One of them. It's now, the year go it blurs. And so around March, yeah, it was March 2022. Sorry, March 2022. I wrote the book and then I started querying around like April, May. And querying, for those who don't know, querying is when you send, you submit a cover letter or a CD to a literary agent and in hopes that they represent you in your book. Um, And that's when I started getting like all the rejections in my emails, like, oh,
Yeah.
we can't connect to the story. This
Right.
is not marketable. And I was being petty because I was sending every single one of them to my friend, my editor. And so she was like, no, just keep going, keep going. And so I was in the query trenches from April to uh I want to say like July, and then I got like a couple of offers from
Yeah.
representation, and
Amazing.
yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it changed, like now I'm in, and so eventually I signed with my current agent, Peter Knapp at Park and Fine Literary. And that was in August 2022. And then we worked on the book um August 2021. Sorry, August 2021. We worked on the book for an entire year. And and yeah, and then we signed, we went on submission, sorry, September 19th. And then I was on submission for like, oh my gosh, like, ugh, it was for like 4 months. And in retrospect, it's so like, oh, that's nothing. Like, some authors submission for like a year or and I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can do 2 years. Like I'll just self-publish it at that point. So yeah, but around January, I was in Chicago developing a play of mine. And yeah, and then we got a couple of offers from publishers to publish the book, to buy the
Yeah.
book. Um,
Amazing.
yeah, and
Well
then
done.
yeah, this was like January 2023. Yeah, January 2023. And I end up eventually signing with Lisa Abrams at Labyrinth Road, which is an imprint under Penguin Random House. So
Mm.
I saw January 19th, so 4 months, literally 4 months on the date. I sold Blood at the Root in a 3 book deal. So it's going to be a trilogy of books.
Yes.
Yeah,
Amazing. I
January
love
19th.
that.
Yeah, January 19th,
Wow.
2023, I signed it, and we've been working on it. And I've been working with my amazing editors, Lisa Abrams and Emily Shapiro, there. And yeah, because it came from a competitive auction, and it was really exciting when people offered on the book. And so yeah, that's kind of like the journey of like Blood at the Root. Like, and
Oh,
I just
I
turned in
love
book
it.
two, and now I'm getting ready for a year later, now I'm getting ready for the debut, for it to be in bookstores.
But that's fantastic. I love the way you spoke about the journey that it took
Yeah.
you, because a lot of people think, oh, writing, oh, I've got an idea, I'm just gonna write it out there and that's it, and I'll publish it and let's see what happens. No, I mean it's like you said, sadly, from what you pointed out, I was trying to look for other things on Amazon similar to your book with a black character.
Mhm.
No, I haven't seen it unless it's a memoir. You don't see that. You don't see that at all. You don't see novels with black characters, and that's a shame because there's so many people that I want to see people like me represented. I don't. I
Mhm.
love to read. I'm a bookworm, and I'm thinking, why don't you do a book for me? And then and I don't know. I was thinking about it, and then you came along. I'm like, I see, who's this guy? What's going on here? And I started to look up. I think this is fantastic. And then I thought, oh, let me see similar stuff. I didn't see nothing. I like the
Mhm.
fact that you didn't see anything, but instead of just waiting for it to happen, you made it happen. You feel like
Yeah.
I wanted a change to happen. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna make that happen. And I like the fact that people say no to you, oh, we can't, but you just carried on. You didn't listen. And I know, as you said, you fell down, but you
Mhm.
didn't let that bring you down. I feel like almost you had a mission to accomplish. You're like, I'm not gonna give up. I don't care who says no. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it happen. And look, it's a success. Like you're
Yeah.
talking about series, you're talking about a trilogy. How do you feel about all of this?
I feel great. I feel like the work, I put in so much work, and like Blood and Through is not even the first story that I wrote. It's just the first story that somebody said yes to. I feel great. Like now I'm because I was in the midst of like rejections and like just being down about it. I was like reading like up on my favorite authors and playwrights and seeing where they were going through and getting so much encouragement through the computer screen and just seeing that they're doing it. Like one of my big like aspirations as an author was Tomi Adeyemi,
Mm.
who wrote Children of Blood and Bone, the Children of Blood and Bone trilogy. I was like, dang, like, I was like, okay, I want my career to model after hers. And it's so amazing now, like, I was reading her book while, I was working on my first book. It didn't make it, but like now my book comes out, and then her third book, the final book in her trilogy, comes out a month after mine. So
Mhm.
so it's like going from like watching her and now like debuting, a month, before her final book comes out. Um, it's just amazing how things work, right? It's amazing how things come back around. And so yeah, oh my gosh, I feel great. I feel amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I see on your tweets as well. I love that you are taking in all your achievements so far, and you feel like there's much more to come. And I like the pride, like, oh, this is my baby. Not, oh, I just wrote some book. No, it's like you really are proud about that. You're really happy about that, and
Yeah.
I feel like all of us are sharing that moment with you. I feel
Yeah,
like we're all like,
yeah, social media is amazing, right? Like, like a couple of weeks ago, like I posted, Facebook is interesting, like
yeah,
the audience, right? Like it's so different from TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. And so like Blood at the Root started going viral on Facebook, and like people were sharing it, and people were like commenting and tagging me and messaging me, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, dude, like you're like the book cover, it looks so amazing." Like I'm having messages from like parents saying like, yo, like, my kids don't even read like that. Like, but when they saw your book cover, like they were like, yo, like that, I gotta get that book. I gotta get that book. And it's so amazing because that's the power, right? That's the power of representation. That's the power of seeing yourself reflected, and humanized, and not, and the book is not even out yet, right? And so to see that book cover of that beautiful black boy on the cover, like, casting his magic, manifesting his magic, and he's standing proudly like in front of the Spanish monastery, right? That is that is that is that is what it's all about. That's why we do what we do.
yes,
Um,
exactly.
and to see that, and my greatest, like one of my greatest like hopes is like a black kid like from my town, or from like a town like mine, right? They walk in the bookstore and they see this, they see something like
Yeah,
this, like, oh, mom, dad, whoever, like that kid looks like me. Like he looks like me. Like I want to read that. And I don't even read books, right? And
yeah.
it's so amazing to receive things like that, and to see people championing the book and it's not even out yet. And um
I can't
that's
wait.
that, yeah,
I
that's what I
can't
was
wait. Oh,
that's what I
you
was telling
know,
Hollywood producers. That's what I was telling,
it's
public. I
gonna
was like,
be a film. Watch, mark my words. It's forget this. A series is great, but I
mhm.
feel like it's gonna be a film one day. So you have to be ready, right,
I
to take
know,
on that
and
challenge because I feel like the potential for me. I feel like it's a Harry Potter, a black version. So I
yeah.
feel you have to brace yourself. It's gonna happen. You
I
know.
From your mouth to God's ears, like, I'm hoping,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping, because I think we deserve it. I think it's time. Like fantasy, young adult fantasy, the genre itself needs to be. We got to start flipping tables. I'm one of those writers that likes to shake the table, and not even just shake it, but like flip it, because it's
Yes.
time. Like it's time to, when people regard fantasy, like they only think about like Lord of the Rings, or like they only think
Mm,
about Harry Potter, or like and it's like seeing us, right? Seeing us in fantasy wielding magic, riding dragons, or
mm.
I don't know, going on that epic adventure, right? That epic quest. Yeah, like we deserve that too. And like
Yes, we do.
there's so many authors out there, and so many filmmakers that are out there, that are indie, that are making those stories. They just need the access way. And thankfully I got the access way now, and because I was on the other side. So it's just, yeah, I hope it becomes a film, television series, whatever. I hope, I'm praying that it does, because I think it's going to be important for the culture. You know,
Yes, exactly. You remind me of a famous French writer. I don't know if you know Alexandre Dumas. He wrote The Three Musketeers. I know you might not know.
oh yeah, oh okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
him, yeah. So he's a black guy, and that we're talking back, I think, 19th century. So imagine a black man, oh, I want to be a writer, and everybody just put him down like, you're not gonna amount to anything. basically you're not worthy of being like amongst the best writers. Did he let that stop him? No, he just
Oh
wrote
wow.
his stories. The Three Musketeers is the
You
best
just taught me
world.
something.
Yes, the most well-known story that come out from a black man. Imagine a black guy writing the best story of all time, where everybody, even fellow writers, were telling him, "No, that's not gonna work. This thing is a fantasy. Nobody's gonna buy into that." But now, today, in the 21st century, this is
Yeah,
still
people
iconic. Everyone around the world, you might not know who that guy is, but you know who the Three Musketeers are. So listen, you
I didn't even, oh my, you just gave me like one of the best facts of like the Black History Month. I didn't even know that.
yes, yes.
That's
So
crazy.
Alexandre Dumas, and I'm sure something tells me you're gonna read about this guy. Listen,
Yeah.
everyone just put him down. The reason I'm telling this because we went to Paris with my kids. We went to a place called the Panthéon. It's where they buried many famous French writers, scientists, whatever. He's the
Mm,
only black man buried there. And that happened in the 2017 when the president Macron said, "Oh, you know what? We need to honor this man. Like we need to. He deserves a place in there amongst the greats." And even my son was like, "But mom, that's not fair. That it took so long." And I said, "I agree, but I said the fact is there. That's what that matters. Like I know it took long, but the fact is there now. The legacy that he left is
yeah.
undeniable. No one can, But I said to him, this is a sign that you need to let your talent do the talking. Instead of you saying, I'm going to do this, just let your talent do the talking. I said, look at him. He's there, buried, dead for a long time, but his
Still
stories are still
changing.
relevant. And it's
Yeah.
changed the course of, it's not just about white people, it's black people, excellence too. And you're proof of that. Listen,
Mm,
I insisted so much to have you on my podcast because I'm like, what you do is so fantastic. You're
thank you.
inspiring so many people that don't like to read, but they see that oh, I'm gonna read now. I'm like, literally, I can't wait for your book to come. I literally wish I can go on Amazon, buy today, and have it today.
Yeah.
Can you speed the
Yeah.
process?
Yeah, it's such a process. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. That's wow. I'm just my mind is blown right now. I didn't even know that. Um, and I may have to tweet that, like, because I like to tweet like just hidden, history about Black people all across the world, like what contributions they made to the culture, like, and not even just American culture, but like the world. And like that's thank you. Like that's so cool. I
My
didn't
pleasure.
even
You reminded me of him, like your excellent work.
yeah.
Like you, despite all the no's, you just thought, I'm gonna do it. And that guy got no's until he's died. People wrote him off. Like, even though he
Mm,
was making success, people like they just saw him as a black man. But I like what I liked about him, he had a vision to be
mm.
a writer and he had those stories to tell and he told those stories. So imagine no would have been like, oh yeah, I can't do it. Oh no, but just I'm gonna do it. And he did. So please, no matter how many more people are gonna tell you no, because unfortunately I know that might happen, just
I mean,
do your
yeah,
work. Do
it's
your
still
work. Don't worry about them. Who are they? They are not
yeah.
you. They are not the one controlling your life, your destiny,
Mm.
your vision. So let them say no. And one day those same people will say no. Oh, by the way, LaDarrion, are you interested? And you'll be the one holding the card like maybe later or maybe yes or whatever. So no,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to be. What about your family? How did they feel about your achievements? How did they feel
I,
about that?
yeah, they're amazing. Like it's so cool to like kind of talk to them about like the industry like now and like I think, I think at the time, like just trying to get my plays off the ground, trying to get my films or TV, sometimes, like they didn't really understand, like, why are you going through this so much like this hardship? Like supportive, yes, but like they really didn't understand, like, why are you going so hard in the dirt for something like, it's clearly not gonna, maybe it's not gonna happen. Maybe it's just not gonna happen right now. And it's like, no, like you said, I had a vision. Like I was like, no, I see my books in bookstores. I see my films and TV shows like doing this. I see my plays on Broadway or traveling across the world, right? And I think now, like now that they're seeing like the tangible success of it,
Yeah.
like so far. I think they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he stuck to it.
Mm.
He never wavered, and so yeah, it's so cool to talk to them about like that, and them seeing it, and them like, oh my gosh, like my mom the other day we were on the phone, she was like, oh my, she's like, at her job, she was like, people was talking about your book. They saw it,
Oh,
they saw it being shared on Facebook. And she was like, my mom was like, a lot of people is looking at your book right now. It's like, yeah. I knew that, it's like deep down, I knew that. It's just we just had to put it in people's faces.
that's
Um,
it.
and like, and so it's cool. I think they're proud, and they're always asking me, like, they don't really know the inner
Yeah.
workings of writing a
Yeah.
book, but yeah, I think they're proud, and I can't wait to like go home, and when the book drops, right, and go to like
Yes.
I can't wait to go to my local bookstore to sign my books. Like that's going to be such a full circle moment. It's being able to go to like the bookstores around my hometown, and just and
Yes.
sign and hope
Yeah.
so
No, but
yeah.
I want to tell you something as well, Darren. You are inspired me even to write. I have background in filmmaking. I'm a teacher right now. And I have like a lot of people say, "We like to read. Have you thought about writing?" I say, "Yes," and that's the thing. What stopped me was like, but I want to create a character that looks like me, and I don't
Mhm.
see nothing around. So I was planning it, and then you came along when I was like desperate for some sort of reference, and you came along. I feel like you came at the right time to be like, you
Yeah.
know what, I did it. Anybody can do it. I feel like you paved the way for us.
Oh,
So I want to say a big thank you. I want to say
oh,
a
I
big,
appreciate that.
I mean, please, and I need to ask you a big favor. Do you have a
Yeah.
poster for the cover of your book? Do you have a poster?
A poster? Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's hanging up on my wall, but yeah, definitely.
we need one for my school because I said that I'm gonna talk to authors and we try to promote. So
Yeah.
anyway, tell me how much I have to pay you. Can you send me a
Oh,
poster so that when I buy your book and it's available there, so there's a poster so that more people will be attracted to it. We need
oh yeah, let's set
black
that. Yeah,
people to read.
yeah,
So
let's set that up. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely give me like the address. I'll definitely have the publisher send one over.
Oh,
Um,
thank you so much. I feel so
yeah.
embarrassed to ask you this.
No, like, no, like, definitely no, because that's amazing. I think that I had ideas with my publishers. I was like, people are always commenting on, they're always commenting on the book cover. Like, they're always saying, like, oh my God, like, look how beautiful it is. And I do have to shout out, Hillary D. Wilson. She created Malik. She's an illustrator, a Black woman illustrator. I have to shout out, yes, yes. I have to shout out Liz Dresner. She created like the spell books and the magic and the tree and the
I
title,
love
and
it.
two amazing women illustrators.
Yes, and amazing
Hillary
writer
did,
yourself. All of this
yeah,
together create magic, literally.
create magic, yeah.
So honestly, I did talk to my school that I'm doing podcasts, and I have a lot of authors that I've been speaking to, and they were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, can you ask them for posters?" I'm like, "That's a bit embarrassing asking that," but I say I'll try because
No.
seriously, what we need like more black because we have a lot of black students. If they see, oh, this is a character that represents me, oh, I want to read, I want to know the details. I'll tell them that I'll get the book myself. Yes, I'll buy it on Amazon. I think it's available in the UK. Is it? Is it available in the UK? Because you said that it may be.
So yeah, we're trying.
I know, I know.
Just know, me and my agent are working very, very hard to get it over there. Um, I but I think you can order it, but
I'm
like,
gonna order.
yeah,
Yes.
but like actually having it available in the bookstores over there,
Mhm.
we're trying. We're
No
trying.
problem. What I'll do, I'll order it. I'll let you know if anything. I can. I don't mind doing from the US, no matter what. But I need to have this
Yeah.
in my library. We
Yeah, you
must.
gotta, yeah, send me that address, and I'll definitely get a poster over to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like, no, like, yeah, no, I definitely want that, like, because that would be beautiful, right? That would be beautiful for your kids and your students and people around in that community to see that, to
Yes.
see like Malik, like this powerful
Yes.
Black boy on a cover.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
Thank you.
like, that
I'll
would
send
spark so
my
much.
details. No, thank you. I'll send that details so they can send it to
Yeah.
my school, and I'll tell them, look, May. Let them know for this book in May we have to wait. and I'm sure they'll be like fighting over, oh, I want to read that book. So I'll tell
Yeah,
them,
3 more months. The way years be going by, 3 months is like what, a week now? Because
yes,
no, yeah,
I
that's
can't wait. It's worth waiting for. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing. Thank you for asking that. Of course, like that's why I was like, yeah, definitely.
thank you so much,
We're definitely
Darian.
gonna have that set up. Yeah, yeah.
I want to say also a big thank you for your time because I know how busy you are, how busy you get. Please, I get it. But my
Yeah.
last question for you, what would you say to aspiring authors like yourself? So people in
Mm.
school, in college, that one day want to be authors themselves. What would be your number one advice?
Ooh, Mm, it's so interesting being asked this question now because I was on the other receiving end, like what's your advice, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, um, I think for me, like I think the biggest advice I could tell people, aspiring authors who are out there just fighting for their stories, um, man, like just be unapologetic about it. Like whatever you're writing, if it's a fantasy, if it's a contemporary, if it's a thriller, romance, romantasy now, because like be unapologetic about your writing and like because I think when you're unapologetic about whatever you're writing about, especially for like Black and Brown and POC authors, who want to tell like their specific stories, right? Like their specific mythologies and family stories or whatever. Is that don't let nobody tell you that this story is nobody wants this, it's not marketable. Yes, it is. Yes, it is because we all want different, especially like different perspectives of Black people, right? Like
Yeah.
you just gave me a gift today, like about the Three Musketeers. Like I didn't even know that, like right. And
Oh,
now, now
it's a
I'm gonna go.
pleasure.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm like, oh
pleasure.
my gosh, like that just inspired me to like just keep going and like so be unapologetic about that, just like he was, like just like like some of my favorite authors and playwrights like August Wilson, Terrell Allen McCraney, Katori Hall, Tomi Adeyemi, like they're just unapologetic about what they want. Because if you're like really passionate about it and really unapologetic about your story, it's going to show through the work. It's
Yeah.
gonna come off the page. Um, yeah, and like don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to shake the table. I mean, that's two pieces of
Yes.
advice.
No,
But
no, thank you.
don't be afraid to shake the table because the table needs to be flipped because it's been safe for way too long.
Yeah.
Um,
Agree.
because we haven't been invited to the table, right? So now we got to flip it. Now we got to flip it. Now nobody until things get rectified, nobody gets to eat because you've only been inviting certain people to the table, and now like let's flip it and let's redecorate it now, like
That's it.
let's
Yeah.
get other people's stories and perspectives and everything on. So yeah, be unapologetic and shake the table. Like those are like my biggest advice, yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, LaDarrian.
Yeah,
I feel like I can't wait to see what more is coming up. I feel like every tweet is like, you want more. Every tweet
yeah.
you post, you give us always like, oh, this is to come. This I feel like you have so much to give, and you're already giving us so much. So please keep those tweets coming.
Oh,
And
oh yeah, I definitely
I can't
will.
wait to see what's next. I can't wait. When I have your book, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you know. And when I have your poster, I'll let you know. So I'll take a picture in the school and I'll let you
Of
know as well.
course. Yeah.
Thank
I might go send that off today. I mean, the post office is not open today, it's Sunday. Oh. So
you. It's
I'll just
Sunday today.
yeah, yeah. I was like, wait, what's today? It's the days are running so together.
Yeah.
But no, I'll definitely get that sent off. Like, please send me all the information. I'll definitely get that over to you because yeah, that's very important for those kids to see.
Yes.
Um, and I don't even know like the situation, like like where their backgrounds, but like even still, like it's just important for kids to see a different type of character, right? Like a different type of perspective.
Different narrative. No police brutality, no violence, actual, you know, where a black character is in charge, is the leading act, is a good person. Something that we
Yeah.
finally see in a book, like reading a book. So you've done so much. I don't think you realize how much of a good influence, of how much legacy you're leaving us right now. And it's not even
Oh
out
wow.
yet.
I
Listen,
I
what is
appreciate that.
up,
Like,
yeah?
because when you're in it, you don't realize it. But I appreciate that. Like, I'm just seeing it's so amazing seeing the response to the book already. Um,
Keep it going.
I knew it. I knew it, yeah, just keep going. I knew it when I first wrote it in 2020. I was like, I know this is going to change the world. So I just had
Yes.
to keep going and I'm still going. I'm still fighting. It's still a
Yeah.
fight, right? So
And shout out to your team as well, of illustrator, editors, all of them. You guys work together as a team. Like we
yeah.
talk to you, oh, you're the author, but we don't realize how many people are behind this book. So shout
Mhm.
out all your lovely team.
Shout
Tell them
out,
that
yeah. Shout out
the
to Lisa
work.
Abrams. Lisa
Yes.
Abrams of Labyrinth wrote it, her imprint. She took a chance. She really took a chance on this
And he paid
book.
up. He
Yep, it
paid up.
paid off. It paid off.
There you go. So well
She really,
for
she
taking a
really,
chance to
yeah,
seeing that your vision was actually something that's going to change the world. So please, I
yeah.
wish to meet you one day. If you come to the UK,
Of
please
course.
tell me.
I can't
Let
wait.
me know.
I can't wait. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
come
Shout
to the
out to Lisa.
airport.
Yeah, okay, listen, I know that's right. Yeah, shout out to amazing people. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to my agent Pete for just believing in the story and changing my life. So, yeah, I really appreciate this. Thank you
And
for.
enjoy every success right now, forever. Enjoy every moment,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Yes.
that's a learning trait I'm trying to master. Is just enjoy every single piece of joy and just enjoying this
Be
moment.
ready. You're going to be going to more podcasts. You're going to go to sign your book. You're going to go
Oh
on
my
TV
God.
shows. Listen, be ready. I'm so glad that you came on today. Thank you so, so much. We're going to
Thank
keep in
you.
touch anyway. Yes.
Of
And thank
course.
you so much again.
Thank you,
It's
Thelma. Thank you.
a pleasure. Have a lovely Sunday. Yeah.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.